All right.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back to
Parking Lot Movie Reviews.
and a happy Marty Supreme Day for
It's
all those who observe.
Yes, so you guessed it. We saw Marty Supreme.
It's very true.
And let's get to it. It is by Josh Safdie, part of the Safdie brothers.
Yes, one half. One might say.
They each released films this year,
Mhm,
so
they
very
sure did.
interesting. So, yeah, this one was Marty Supreme.
Yep.
The Timothée Chalamet is the main character.
Yep.
And let me tell you, yeah, this acting performance, phenomenal.
It gives
Phenomenal.
major main character energy.
Totally.
Like overwhelmingly even, where it's just like you think of a main character and it's just like, yeah.
Yeah. So totally fitting. Like I said, called Marty Supreme, about Marty. You don't see Timothée Chalamet when you're watching this film. You
Yeah.
see the character,
Marty Mauser.
and he fully embraces it. It's amazing to see on the screen. Really, it is very reminiscent of Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
In what is the film?
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Yes, it reminded me of that type of performance for
Mhm.
sure. Where it's just like you don't see Adam Sandler, you see his character, and you're just like, wow, you're going through the ups and downs and curves with their life. Timothée Chalamet did amazing.
Yeah, so it's definitely a spiritual successor to, or maybe, I mean, technically, you could say like predecessor to, because time-wise, successor to Uncut Gems and Good Time.
Yes,
They both had that like high level of like intensity and like very
1000%.
character-driven. I think that that's something that you can like really like give your hats off to the softies for. Like, I would say both of them, but especially in this performance, very notably, they are focused on their main character.
Yes.
A lot of movies that we've seen this year do come with an ensemble, okay?
Mhm.
This one is definitely extremely focused.
Yes. And I mean, the supplemental characters that are in it also, of course, like do fantastic,
Yeah.
but they're all kind of background to,
Yeah.
Marty Supreme
Yeah.
and his life. And honestly, that's the way he lives his life as
Yeah,
well,
he
as
really
very
does.
much, like you said it, main character energy. So it really made sense
Mhm.
how it all worked out. I loved that this film was based in 1950s New York.
Mhm.
New York was a great backdrop for it at times
Yeah.
when they were showing
Yeah.
the city and just kind of like life then. No cell
Mhm.
phones, that was the main. Everybody's talking to each other on the
Landlines,
telephone.
yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay.
Everybody was raw dogging life, just
Everybody-
wandering around.
yes,
People had to
different
rely
time.
on you being where you said you were going to
Yeah.
be.
Absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. So that was really cool. The costumes, the costuming, the props,
Mhm.
all very accurate to the time.
Mhm.
They took the attention to detail
Mhm.
with that, so I appreciated that.
Yeah, story-wise, like there is like an undertone of like post-World War II, so there's like several different scenarios happening that essentially this character overshadows all of them on his own with his own intentions,
Mhm.
and will utilize everyone around him to his advantage, and only when it is convenient to him will be show any form of humility. It's literally like
Absolutely.
they are very in control, very main character energy. Sometimes it's to their own, a lot of times to their own detriment, I would say.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
others
say, I feel like this film has like two aspects to it.
Mhm.
I feel like in the beginning of the film, you're getting to know Marty,
Mhm.
and you're kind of like look at him, and you're just like, wow, like this ambition. He's so like he's
Yeah.
so driven. You kind of have this almost positive outlook on this flawed character.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, okay,
You're
it's
rooting
rough
for
out
them.
there. You're kind of rooting for them. But then the movie in the second half does kind of take this chaotic turn.
Mhm.
It takes you kind of see where the ambition clashes and kind of all breaks down, kind of shit
Yeah.
rolls downhill very fast.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is a wild ride
Yeah.
that I loved being on. I was very nervous in the theater. I didn't know that it was going to go that way, so
Yeah.
that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say there was a few things I was waiting on that did occur. However, they wouldn't occur in the way that you would like assume them to in your traditional softy watching.
Mm-hmm.
It is, as you said, like a very, very fragile scenario multiple times. I would liken it to a house of cards,
Yeah.
honestly, where it's just like you're building it up. I mean, you're putting all of this effort, right? But effort doesn't always equate to quality.
Also, they're so good at building tension in this film,
Extremely,
especially
extremely.
with the score
Yeah.
and with the music and the
Oh, yeah.
shots. It is tense. And it's funny to say that because you see the trailers and,
Mhm,
like I said, the
mhm.
beginning of the film, and you're kind of just like, what is this? Is this kind of going to be a feel good story? Is this going to be
Yeah.
kind of a triumph of this character?
Yeah.
But then you kind of see all the pieces
Yeah.
in a different light.
It's a tragedy in a sense.
It can be. It absolutely
In a
can be. It
sense.
absolutely can be in a sense. It is left like very open ended as well.
Yeah.
But I like what they were trying to show with this film.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're highlighting this character,
Mhm.
this time period, the time of his life when
Yeah.
when table tennis is the goal,
Yeah.
and kind of what are they willing to risk? Are they
Yeah.
willing to risk it all? And are they what
Yeah.
are they willing to do for that opportunity?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. There's no, you mentioned that it's very open ended. It doesn't have the same finality as like some of the other movies that it could be likened to, which leads me and lends me to the thought process of like who was really influencing what when it came to each of the movies made by the Safdie brothers.
Mm-hmm.
This year we really got to see their separate perspectives.
Yeah.
And I would say that Josh does have the stronger perspective.
Definitely. Yeah. If we're definitely looking at the Safdie brothers, yeah, this had like a very clear point of view.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of some of their stuff that they did together,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Like we said, Uncut Gems,
Mhm.
even Good Time.
Yeah.
A movie that they didn't do that it kind of was reminiscent was like Whiplash.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whiplash.
I was like totally just like, oh, like especially like in the
Yeah.
end, which we won't spoil that, but it was very much I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
watch that. It's a great film,
Yeah.
but all of these character driven, what does it take? Are they going to do what it takes? And then kind of this what is it? Just like
Are they going to make it? Are they going to make it
Yeah.
to the goal that they intend to make it to?
yes. And again, a lot of them in those films also like flawed characters, so
I think that that's like really what drives films like this is that you are watching such flawed characters and you are rooting for them, as we mentioned earlier. But then after a while, you kind of like understand the exhaustion that everyone else kind of goes through being involved with these characters.
Exactly.
To the point where you're just like, I don't know anymore.
And
I
also
kinda
the
just
constant
want
like
this
to end.
Yeah.
Or like bad decisions.
Yeah.
You see that, and it's not just like bad luck kind of thing. It's just like you're kind of like making this happen.
Yeah.
You're making the bad shit happen.
Yeah, and-
You're not making smart decisions.
They're very like self-aware of that at times too. A lot of these characters, I mean, I would say even in this film,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when it kind of like comes down to like understanding when they need to feel the humility when it comes to the main character of this film.
Yeah. Another main character of this film is the music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it, like we said, it's set in 1950s, but it uses like 1980s music
Mhm,
to kind of
mhm.
like keep it going, keep
Yeah.
the pacing,
Yeah.
and it's really fun. It works. It's like
Yeah.
it's not supposed to work, but it does.
There's a high level of grittiness to this that you would see in kind of like B hardcore R-rated 1980s movies.
Yeah.
There's a really interesting perspective that you get to catch when you watch this. Like at times I would forget about the time period altogether and was just kind of like absorbing an overall feeling.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was in the 50s, but it sounds like it's in the
Mhm.
80s, but it's ultimately kind of like the built, as we mentioned earlier,
The tension. Yes. Big part of this film. And that Josh Safdie did it beautifully.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot to complain about this film, honestly.
Yeah.
It was done beautifully. You can just tell the attention to detail, all the actors, the care and love that they put into it. Again, Timothée Chalamet playing table tennis.
Mhm.
Insane. Those are the most insane shots.
Yeah, no, you really felt the tension
yeah.
behind like watching a competitive
Right.
sport.
And,
you know?
and none of us have ever really like deep dived into table tennis.
Yeah.
And then when you watch this film, it's just like the Josh Safdie just made it so unique
Mhm.
and gritty and competitive, and he just did a great job.
Yeah, definitely. Dialing back, pulling back to the soundtrack a little bit. I don't know how to pronounce it, you know, but it's One Tricks Point Never or Oni Tricks Point Never, that as the composer of
The
the
score?
score of the film, like really pulled from a lot of influence from some of the songs that you'll hear that do also appear in the film that are from the 80s.
Yeah, the
Like,
ones, the bops.
Yeah, you find yourself thinking like, is this so and so? Is this such and such? But it's part of the score for the film. I thought that was really great. I'm trying to think of like something else that I noticed about it. But yeah, table tennis, the intensity behind it.
Yeah, I absolutely loved that. I loved the
Yeah.
competitiveness. And I like a film that takes you on a roller coaster
Mhm.
ride, and this one did. Makes you feel something, and it's just really well done.
Yeah.
So, are you ready for our glizzy rating?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. So we're gonna do our rating out of 5 glizzies. So on 3.
On 3, all right.
1, 2, 3, 4. Absolutely.
4 glizzies.
Solid 4.
Highly recommend.
Yes. Go take your family. Go. I think this is a movie anyone can enjoy as well.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I do have a couple final remarks. I recall them from when I mentioned it. It does have certain levels of edginess to it that you have to understand and respect are part of the film and the art form.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Totally.
But I think that's a nice...
Yeah, and even edgy, or like even like a raunchiness in a way.
Yes.
You know? But like in such a... It's like tamed, restrained raunchiness. Like it's really good.
Restraint. Yeah, it did show restraint.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Well, that was
all
great.
right, y'all. We'll see you next time.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye
now.